Hi, I posted the other day about another way of actually accessing content on your intranet, apart from browsing through the pages and using a chat-based solution instead. And I thought I'd show you what we put together at Provoke. So this site here is part of our branding and collateral. We recently migrated this from an on-prem SharePoint environment. And it uses the out-of-the-box SharePoint Online. It's a nice informational page, nicely laid out with content that's really useful. But actually the thing that I need to use regularly is the color palette. And predominantly I want to be able to put in the hex codes and RGB codes for these different colors that are part of our palette. So to access this, I need to know that this exists in the branding and collateral site, navigate to it on the intranet, and then browse into the actual image to find out what the color code is. So this is one example of where this could actually be faster. So what we actually built is inside of Teams is our little, what we call Spidey Web bot that can actually answer questions that people commonly have about content. And it also has a friendly side to it as well. So it answers some other random questions like, how are you? And it will actually respond with something. But we have some common questions like, what are our fonts? That it actually responds to with actual details of the fonts and links to the font files. If you want to book a holiday, it gives you advice on doing that. If you need to know about our leave policy, there might be two options. You want to book leave or you want to know where the policies are. And then also at the bottom here, you see if you answer random questions, it will also tell you if it can't find an answer. And it will then send the question to somebody to be able to create a proper answer. But what I can also do is ask in here, what are our brand colors? Now this is using at the back end the QnAMaker and the Microsoft bot framework to actually go away and actually find the answer. Now in this case, it actually gives me the name of the color, and also the details that I can then quickly copy out and use in any other application I want to. And if I still want to, I can go to the full page and it will take me back to that page that I was already on. But this is really the key messaging. And one of the things that I showed this to one of my colleagues the other day, and one of the first things he asked was, what are our fonts? And immediately it came with that example at the top. So it showed that actually we'd populated it with some useful content. So at the back end here, there's this knowledge base. So this is the QnAMaker. So if you go to QnAMaker.ai, you can then create an instance of a knowledge base. And then you just start populating it with Q&A pairs. So you have some questions that people will ask and then some answers. And if you're working with Teams, you can also create links using its markdown. So in this case, square brackets for the text and rounded brackets for the actual link. And then you just gradually start adding to this. So we have policies, we have setting up mobiles, how do I submit my timesheets, of course what about brand colors, and who is our CEO, who is Mason Pratt. Now this content is created by the person who makes the page in the first place. So they need to think about what are the useful things that this page actually answers, and then add that to the QnAMaker. Once they've done this, they can then use this interface to test it. So they can go in and check whether the answers that it gives are as they expect. And then if you're using this inspection, if there's more than one result, you can actually say, no, actually in this case, for this question, the answer is something different. And then the engine then retrains itself, and next time you ask that question, it'll come with this answer. You can also at this point add alternative phrases. We also, for a bit of fun, we added in one of the chit chats. So we added in the comic chit chat. So you can download these as well and add them into QnAMaker. There's a more what we call it, sincere or slightly more business-like answers. But this is just kind of random questions to just give the bot some sort of personality that you'd want to fit to your organization's personality. So once you've got this all configured and you publish this, it'll actually give you a link to actually say, do you want to set this up as a Microsoft Bot Framework bot? And you can just click on the link and it takes you through the process of setting up the bot inside of Azure. We're not going to go into the details of that. If you just follow the instructions, it all works quite nicely. And because I've already published this one, it already has a link to which one it's actually created against. Now also, another thing that needs to be done is hooking this up to Teams. And Microsoft have actually built a inside of Microsoft Teams this App Studio, so you can just go to more apps and search for the Teams App Studio, and you get this nice little tool here which provides you instructions of how it all works. But basically you can create a manifest file that normally you would need to get a developer to build this thing for you and publish it. But basically it creates a user interface inside Teams to actually hook up your bot. So if we go into this Spidey Web bot, apart from some details about the bot itself, you then configure in the bots, you then add what your bot details are, so specifying where it actually hooks up to the bot, and that's just the ID that gets created inside of Azure. And that's pretty much it. You just from there, you can install it locally first if you have permissions to do so. You can download the file to give to a centralized team to distribute. You're unlikely to submit this type of thing to the App Store because it's just for your organization. But once you have it up and running, then it appears as an app in here. So here's my Spidey Web app. And I also have some links to other content on the intranet. But I can also add it within a team space as well. So if you're using Teams and you've created the all company organization team, then you can add it to that team as well to answer questions. And if you have it inside a team, you just go at and then the name of your bot. So we'd go at Spidey Web Bot and then simply ask it a question and it would respond within the team space. So this is how, at a high level, you can create a nice little Q&A bot over your intranet content and make it much more user-friendly. Thanks for listening.